As the CWA's flagship annual event, the premier event of its kind in the Caribbean, we expect that this conference will further cement our mission, and that is to advance the science and practice of water supply, wastewater disposal, and solid waste management, and promote the efficient management of utilities for a sustainable development for the Caribbean people.
The United Nations has set 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Sustainable Development Goal number 6 is the goal of ensuring the availability of water and sanitation for all by 2030. Water is a common good that we must manage sustainable at all levels, from private industry to individuals, local authorities, and countries. A wide range of challenges such as the need for environmental protection, conservation of resources, demographic changes, cost efficiency, and climate change are impacting the way in which water and wastewater are managed. The CARICOM Regional Framework for Achieving Development Resilient to Climate Change 2011 to 2021 was a critical first step in ensuring regional coordination and policy development in this area. However, the next critical step is for countries to develop strong national initiatives. Here in St. Kitts and Nevis, the government is committed to increasing secure access to water resources, protecting against destructive water-related events, ensuring reliable provision of sustainable and affordable water and wastewater-related services, both in quantity and quality, to all stakeholders, and to promoting the increase in energy efficiency measures and recovery mechanisms for water. In order to meet these requirements, processes must be continuously optimized and adapted. With the appropriate know-how, the appropriate technology, and smart control and regulation technology, these can all be achieved. It is only through innovation, fully supported by effective policy making, that we can enable the sustainable development of water resources and the effective management of wastewater, which will be necessary to face the upcoming challenges in the region. It is my hope that this 28th conference of the Caribbean Water and Wastewater Association will not only yield engaging conversations, but will facilitate the sharing of meaningful innovations in the area of water and wastewater management, with a mind to how it might be best applied in the Caribbean context.
And the CWWA is an organization for practitioners in the water sector, corporate entities that operate within the water and solid waste sector, as well as utilities that operate within both sectors. So we are a non-governmental association, and we bring together these group of stakeholders within the water and solid waste sectors to address and advocate for change in the way that we manage water and the way that we manage waste. I may have joined the CWWA probably less than a decade ago, and when I joined the CWWA, my sort of mandate in terms of the mentee that recruited me invited me to revive what the national section within Trinidad and Tobago, which is where I am from. So one of my tasks was to revive the Trinidad and Tobago National Section, which really meant bringing all the members of the Caribbean Water and Wastewater Association based in Trinidad and Tobago together to sort of advocate for change, to build capacity, to just discuss water and solid waste issues. So that was one of the first tasks that I undertook. And from there, I was asked to coordinate the conference in Trinidad and Tobago in 2016. And that was our 25th anniversary, so the 25th year of our, what is now our annual conference and exhibition. And from there, as conference coordinator, I moved on to the Executive Council as Public Relations Officer, where I tried to boost the social media presence of CWWA, being an organization of a lot of mature engineers who is sort of evolving into this new world of technology. So that was one of the things that I set out to introduce to the Caribbean Water and Wastewater Association. And I've been serving as the Vice President on the Executive Council for the past 2 years, and really what I've been doing is supporting the President.
While one may be the President, the work is not always undertaken singularly by the President.
And how I've been doing that is through helping the association with its different activities. And one of the major things that we've done is, particularly in this year's conference, is we have planned 2 high-level fora, one for ministers with responsibility for water and the other one for ministers with responsibility for waste. And the water HLF, or high-level forum, was particularly successful because out of that forum, we now have what we are calling a declaration of WASTEWATER, which is a commitment from the Caribbean Ministers of Water to push this agenda forward and to also walk the CWWA through the doors of CARICOM to be recognized as an institution that is pushing the water agenda forward.
And in the context of this year's theme, to wit, securing the Caribbean's future, financing the water and waste sectors, we anticipate that, I'm going ahead of myself, I hope not, that we'll be signing the declaration whereby we can stop talking and put our regional action plan into place. And we hope and trust we will sign that declaration right here in Basseterre.
The CWWA was established through an act of parliament in Trinidad and Tobago in 1991. And really the point of the CWWA and the intention of our forefathers, so to speak, was to bring together practitioners within the water and solid waste sectors in a forum where they can advocate governments, they can advocate the private sector to bring about change within the management of these sectors within the Caribbean. And to do that, they really saw the CWWA as being a platform for these professionals to get together and build capacity, so train other professionals and be the experts that will push new thinking within the sector and within the Caribbean, recognizing that water is central to life and recognizing that solid waste is needed if we are to move forward with socioeconomic development in the Caribbean. We have spent a number of years bringing these practitioners together, and this is one of the events. The conference is one of the events that we use to actually interact and network face-to-face with the professionals within not just the region, but outside of the Caribbean. So we have a number of persons that come from North America, Europe, the Pacific. This year, the UNESCO actually brought a professor from Australia at an Australian university to speak to our ministers of water. So what we try to do is just place water and solid waste on the radar of Caribbean decision makers. And when we say decision makers, we're not just referring to ministers or politicians, we're referring to the public. So one of our sort of mandates for moving forward is engaging the average Caribbean citizen in this topic and in this dialogue of water and waste management. I think one of the major outcomes of this conference is that we have discovered that there's a niche for CWWA, and that niche really is for us to act as an entity, a sort of focal point, a facilitator of bringing not just governments together, but the private sector, because we recognize, and this year's conference theme was financing the water sector, and we have recognized that financing is a major sort of deficiency in the way that we push this agenda forward. And CWWA can act as a focal point to bring the donors, to bring the private sector, to bring governments, to bring practitioners and utilities together to really discuss how we can move forward and how we can push this agenda forward.
Water and waste financing requires attention given the importance of water and waste disposal from an economic, social, and political perspective. This, coupled with the inherent inefficiencies in its distribution in developing countries due to the unwillingness and, in many cases, the inability of governments to modernize the supporting infrastructure, requires special focus when it comes to financing.
As incoming president, or president-elect as we call it in the Caribbean Water and Wastewater Association, one of my major missions is to involve youth and bring gender balance within the water sector and waste sector. Traditionally, the sector has been very engineering and male-dominated, and we recognize more and more that there's need for wider dialogue, there's need for us to bring in other sectors that use water and that need the service of waste management. So bringing in the tourism sector, bringing in the financial sector, bringing in the agricultural sector. So really it's not about just an engineering association, but all the persons that practice and have an interest really in the water and waste sector.
We're here down at the Caribbean Waterworks Conference. This is our third year that we've been participating. It's a great event. And we're here to display our products that we manufacture in Canada. We have a foundry, manufacturing facility, and distribution warehouse.
We're happy to be here in the Caribbean presenting some of our material. We have some AMR solutions and also some AMI solutions. Really good smart water meters. We can measure low flow very well. And we're happy to announce that we've put a pilot with roughly 50 meters in the ground here in St. Kitts. And as of today, we were able to read 15 water meters.
The Ford Meter Box Company is a U.S.-based manufacturer of waterworks infrastructure products, principally for the distribution of potable water.
Today we're here at the Caribbean Waterworks Association, one of the 4 trade shows we do in the Caribbean. We do 4 also in the United States. But today here at the Caribbean Waterworks Association, we are showing our waterworks piping, and actually we're demoing an Indumar kit that is for live leak repairs.
These are outdoor installations, right? So again, for the aesthetics, you can have the color, right? Designed specifically for your company.